Um, you're first, right?
Give me a second to start recording too. Are we on?
Yep.
Okay. Miriam and I discussed the 4 articles we read, and we found there were some very useful information. And Miriam was nice enough and capable to produce this beautiful slideshow for us. Okay. Miriam.
Okay. Hi, this is Miriam and Catherine, and we're making a slideshow on Zoom as our assignment.
Okay.
We also are using Canvas.
Yes. The first article had some interesting points about how to design an online course. And there were some good recommendations about what to consider when we design an online course. For example, I like the recommendation for using VoiceThread, something that I had never heard of before. I think it adds a human touch to the course.
I learned a little bit about being ADA compliant, that we should have a voice, we should have large print, and we should think about our different types of students and what works best for them.
Yes. Avoid using underlining because that can be confusing for a hyperlink. Miriam suggested that, and I think this is something good to keep in mind.
We thought that giving feedback, and the article said that giving feedback is really important, and there's very many ways that we can do it.
Yes, indeed. We also like the idea of taking a poll. In a regular class, I would ask my students face-to-face if I have any questions, if I think that something may not be going well, I might ask them face-to-face. Now, I think we can incorporate this into our online courses.
We also liked using announcements. I've been using announcements consistently since before COVID-19. We have to communicate with the students.
I love them too, by the way. The next article is taking the leap, moving from in-person to online courses.
One of the suggestions was about chunking readings. This also helps with students with disabilities to section the readings into manageable chunks. And of course, as reading teachers, we've always known about that.
Okay, the article gives a number of suggestions about how to move from a face-to-face class to an online class. Some of them we liked, some of them, like the second one, I don't know what they're all about, moving from group work to private group wikis. But I like the online discussions. They call them forums here. I enjoyed the timed quizzes. I think it's a great idea. And the interactive tutorials, that's a good idea too. I realize that I'm saying this is a good idea, but I don't know what else to say, honestly.
We thought that discussion boards was a good kind of assignment to give them at the beginning. That's it.
Okay, this one I really liked. I wish we could do some more training of material and methods between ourselves, meaning the instructors. And the editing too is a good idea. I wish that somebody would look at my syllabus or some of the assignments and offer some suggestions without hurting my feelings. And I could probably do that for somebody else if he or she were willing to have me look at them. So I wish we could do more of this.
I love the idea of keeping a journal. I know I read about doing that, and I did do that when I was in graduate school. I haven't done it since, but Catherine does keep a journal after the classes. She writes down what worked, what she could improve, or brilliant ideas for later.
Yeah. The next article is 3 ways to efficiently and effectively support online learners. I like the idea of a course having a template, a rhythm, and consistency. This makes sense. So if our course from week to week is similar, I think it will work better.
And we had some ideas about weekly. Every week there's a written assignment. The students know what to expect. All of these help the students know what to expect.
Then assessment, which is always very important. Weekly assessments are a great idea because the instructor gets an idea of what is happening in his or her class. And also it helps the students not fall behind. If somebody doesn't do the assignment, then we can reach out to the student and find out why he or she did not do the assignment. Also, instead of writing a paragraph or a long note, we can use VoiceThread. Again, this is something new for me. I like the idea, though I'm going to look into it.
I've been using breakout rooms to work on peer-to-peer learning. It's really good for the peers teaching each other about technology as well as the content of the course. Breakout rooms are a great way to have any kind of group activity. And I always make sure that one of the students is the devil's advocate.
Yes. The fourth and last article is how to move from a face-to-face course to an online course and how to get it right. Communication is the king or queen. Communicating frequently with the students helps them, and it helps us too. It helps them to learn, to express their problems. It helps us to see what is going on. And attendance and attention, or maybe Miriam can talk about that.
I think the article mentions taking attendance and put it in quotation marks, but really they meant attention, like is the student paying attention? And I guess that's more for some sort of synchronous courses, which we were doing before. But we still need to make sure that we're constantly in touch with the students. And the devil's advocate slide should have been earlier when they're in small groups with a synchronous course. I like them to have that. This is also the devil's advocate, is Rudolph Giuliani.
I see. Multimedia is something that we can use in our online courses. And personally, because I'm not very good with technology, I can go to YouTube videos and find a lot of the public videos there and insert it into my course. It saves time, energy, and they're professionally done in most cases. Great idea.
I always have the students answer questions. All the topics need to be relevant. The great example of the sports you can use statistics to discuss sports and things that are relevant to students. All teachers need to know about staying relevant with topics that will interest the students.
Yes. And what questions do we have? I remember when I was trained to teach, the teacher trainer said that best tool that somebody who teaches have is the WH questions. Who, how, why, what, where, when, etc. So I'm driving my students crazy with WH questions.
Definitely. And that's the end of our slideshow. Thank you for watching. Have a good time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, we gotta stop.